right? And then I also mean beyond the EOD generally. When I say EOD, I mean where, what location is that sediment or deposit placed? Is it in the shore face or beach environment? Is it in the river or fluvial environment or area, right? Is it lacustrine where you have localized lake and so? Is it in the marine? Is it in the deep water? So you have to think of it. Where is it located? Is it uphill in the alluvial zones, or is it in areas where you have an estuary or lagoon? So think of it as geographic placements of the sediment or the deposits. So you have to think of where is that, this sand I'm seeing in this log, where was it placed in the first place? You need to know that. And sometimes what helps you for a start is regional knowledge of the area, right? So stratigraphy, think of the EOD, and then think of the processes, like processes of the deposition itself. Trying to think of how this comes in. So when I think of process, I think of sedimentology. Think of stratigraphy. I think of stratigraphy, which has to do with the layering and all those. They are all part of this rock placement thing. Where is it placed? How is it placed? This one will probably look at the reservoir quality, the intrinsic property of the particles themselves, and they'll look at the order of placements, order, sequence, and the combination, and including maybe biofasces or part of the whole story, right? Or biostructures, biogenic structures. So it all comes in because they all tell you a lot about the reservoir. When you think of it as reservoir, one, we're thinking of extent or / geometry. Two, we're thinking of quality, right? Then in this context, we're saying porosity, permeability, and maybe some other properties, right? So we need this understanding, and sometimes what you need is, what you really need to go from sparse data to an interpretation that you can use and make a decision is trying to integrate or bring together this knowledge that you already have. So supposing I talked about fluvial process. I drew an example of fluvial process recently, right? So supposing I'm looking at, or let me just say, let me think of a deep water environment, right? A deep water process. Let's just say we're talking about lobe, deep water, lobe complexes, or deep water channel lobe complexes. For example, we have this on a map. I have this system does this. This is like the fairway itself, right? It's like the sand. And then here it opens up. Do you get what I'm trying to draw? Yeah. By the way, this can be, if you relate this back to the profile I drew earlier on, where I drew the shelf, and then you have the slope, then you have more like the basin, right? And then this is your beach environment up there. You remember? Yeah. And then this is your sea level. Fish down there. So imagine the sediments coming down this shelf, sea level falls, and you have these big canyons that form in this area, and then they go down the slope as debris with all kind of mass flow, mass transport complexes. And then they find themselves in this area, further down the baseline areas, as fans, sometimes as fans. But in some other cases, they might just be intra-slope lobe complexes that will still within the slope, not in the not in the basin area, there's even in slope, you have like a mini basin or an intraslope basin away, and you have this complexes. So what now happens is, if I drill the well here, for example, I drill the well here, right? And let's say we have more of this, we have another number of these at this. So it's like multiple, for example. So it does that. A number of it. So if I drill the well in this location, first of all, in the up deep area, right? You know that up in this area, you have the sediments coming in. Just at the part where you have the slope or so, where you have like this canyon, it's very steep. So you're going to have a lot of bypass, what we call bypass.
Yes.
So it's like a gutter, but in the subsurface, in the
Kind of
submarine
basin.
canyon, submarine gutter, like an opening, but things are just funneling through. All the sediments that are coming in, then when they get there, the speed at which they go through is much higher, and they're just going through. So first thing to think of is right here, in this area, sorting. The sorting, is it good or bad? What do you expect? In an area like this up here, where you have, okay, let's think of it.
High energy flow.
Yes, sorting, net to gross, that's the quality of the sand. What do you expect? Do you expect to see a lot of sand here compared to here?
It's
Yes.
bad.
You expect more sand here than here?
No.
No, because it's
Okay.
it's like a it's a pathway,
Pathway.
and it's very steep. Sediments are coming at high level, and if you take a profile, if I take a profile through this, I'm going to be seeing, like a small opening with some evidence of sand, but not a lot of
But
it.
not much.
And in this area, let's assume that some of these canyons, part of it, the walls are collapsing into it. So that means the sorting here will be high or low.
Low.
Low. Net to gross high or low? Low. In this area. In the middle areas, let's say somewhere up here, where you now have confined system. So somewhere here you have more like confined channels, because the slope is beginning to open up, and then, but the way it works is, when the slope is very steep, everything is falling. Imagine you are falling down a hill. When the slope is now reducing, you are beginning to settle down. The heavier ones will settle down, right? The lag deposit, the heavier ones settle down. Then the lighter ones will keep going down, and then eventually turbidity processes will now help the much lighter ones to settle one after the other. So in this area, let's say area section 1, for example. This is section 2. Section 2. So this is section 1, and in section 2, sorting will be higher than this, right?
Yes.
True or false? So it will be better sorted. There will be higher net to gross. Let's just see net to gross, right? So net to gross will be fair. This is poor, right? And it will be some sands, but it will be confined. So this is area 2. As you go down in this area where the slope is almost sub-horizontal, what do you expect? Everything will now relax, because why? Up in this direction, you have a lot of sediments coming in, they're finding their way through, gravity driven, they're all falling down. So by the time you get here, they're beginning to slow down and then open up, right?
It's more accommodation.
There's more accommodation. There's more accommodation. There's less slope angle, and their velocity has reduced, so they're going to now settle down. When velocity reduces, what happens? You slow down, you stop, like you're stopping a car, right? So in this area C, for example, or area 3, you're now going to have, this is where you have the likes of this, for example, right? The basinal areas. So you're now going to have higher net to gross, potential stacking, and all those. Now, how does this relate to our well? Let's just go back. How does this relate to our well? Okay, let me just flip this. If I drill a well in this location, let's say I'm going to see something that looks like this. Let me just sketch it if I can. If I drill the well well, let's say I have no clue what this deep water process is, what it is, or what the processes are, and I just went about drilling a well. I'm just so naive, right? I drill a well somewhere in this area where it's actually where you have the bypass zone, everything is falling into, you don't see the sand. I'm going to just drill a well, I'm going to see maybe nothing. I'm going to spend like 100 million or 50 million, depending on how much we're allocated to drill that well. And I'm going to see something like this. Very small, or nothing, basically. Or a bunch of stuff that are not sand, that are just debris, that just mixed stuff, poorly sorted and all those. If I go down in the other area, so this is going to be probably from here. Then if I go down to this other area, let's say by some stroke of luck, right, I was able to go a bit further down in this location. I'm going to be seeing more of channelized geometries, maybe. Yeah. Right? Each of these is a channel. Each of these is a channel. Each of these, right? So let's say well 1 is right here. Well 2 is right here, where I have potentially stacked channelized system. One comes, the other one cuts through what was there before. I'm going to have something like this. If I drill a third well here, let's say I work with the right hands and they know a lot, I'm going to see more of stacked distributory systems. They're very fine, well sorted, beautiful stuff, extensive. Now, where does regional knowledge come in? If I already know, so this is well 3, and this is 3, this is 2, this is 2. If I already know that, okay, in this area I have some structures, first of all, by structural mapping, and by stratigraphic integration, I already know that this is where I expect the best sand. Will you go here, here, or here?
Go down.
Obviously.
Go down.
Well, it's only when I'm making plans for bypass oil.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So if you wanted to start and you already know that based on my understanding, this is where I expect all the sands to come to rest, and I have a lot of structures, but right here is where I have anticline that's, why would I go here? So the exploration guys will quickly go here and put this good sand, and it's all over the place, blocky sand, and you're like, oh, thumbs up. Sometimes it's not with a lot of data, sometimes it's with knowledge of what you know. So if I drill the first well here and the second well here, and then I now say, okay, I now know what happened. If I want to drill the third well, all I need to figure out is this trajectory based on my understanding. Do I have a structure here? Do I have an anticline here that will deflect this? If I do, maybe I won't put the well here, maybe I'll put the well in that area. That's where your knowledge of the structure always comes. Either way, structures are all together. So if in this area I have a map of where I expect my structures to be, and I expect one to be here, that means these structures, this whole system are going to make a turn.
Yes.
That means I won't be putting my well here, somewhere a bit to the north.
Yeah.
So you see that at the end of the day, it's everything integrated.
Yes.
So you need to now integrate, okay, what I see, and then what I expect, and then what you now see in terms of the log motif or the log signature. You already know what part of the what part of the system, in this case the deep water channel system, it is. You already, that means you have an idea of what to expect in terms of net to gross, in terms of maybe, quality, permeability, connectivity. It gives you a good idea.
I'm trying to get what you were saying about the structure. So when you talk about the structure, are you talking about what you've seen from your site already?
Yeah, so when I talk about structure, I was saying, okay, there's even a component to that I need to just ask quickly, not just structure, but the timing of the structure.
Timing, exactly.
Because it is important. In fact, I think that should come in. If I know that in this area I had, let's say we're looking at a map view,
Okay.
right? And I have an anticline, like somewhere here. Call it Imole anticline, right? And then I have another one like this. CHI, anticline. And I have a fault, probably like this. Call it Boris. Boris, you have a fault, right? And this is on the map view. This is so perfect that that's unlikely. And my EUD is telling me that okay, the systems are coming like this. And my timing tells me this happened at time, let's say, choose any period. Time T1, let's say at time T0, this is at time T1, and then this happened much later, T2. And in all of this one was at time T4, meaning everything was in place, right?
Yeah.
Before that happened. Or let me spin that a little bit. Let's just say this is time T. This happened first. Let's say this is T2. Let's say this is T3. And this other one is T4. Right? Trying to make a story from this one. So we had originally T1, we had this anticline formed already by some maybe underlying shield diapair or so. It created itself. And then as the process continued later on, we had a push further down, and then we had some kind of faulting, reverse faulting. So the structure formed like this, and then eventually this happened. So this is Imole right here. So it's formed, and then along the line this eventually happened. Or sometimes it's actually this that creates this. Doesn't matter. But what matters is that they both formed at about the same time, right? And then this sediment starts showing up, right? And then, sorry, what's your name, sir? Basi is the guy, it's the sediment. We like Basi because Basi is a reservoir and it's the main guy that will keep all the oil that is coming in. Mole is the anticline that is there to prevent Basi from going in this direction. Boris is right there to create a barrier and say, look, you're not coming through, you have to go find a different route. Right? And along the line,
That's a fault.
yeah, it doesn't matter. If the fault forms, it's going to further amplify this structure. So if this structure had formed initially, and this comes up, the amplitude of the structure is going to be more. So it probably started at T1, probably like this, and then at T2. So maybe at T1 it was maybe gentle.
Yeah.
T1, and at time T2, this guy showed up, and then or there's some other compression that came up, and then it became amplified. Something like that, whatever, right? And then along the line, Basi shows up with finally he's been struggling all the way from up deep, the shelf, finding his way, and he was able to break through all the traffic. And he's down here on the slope and he's racing down to the basin. But these guys are already here. And then he makes it through, and then Choma is just by the way coming. CHI. And Choma says, I see you. Well done. But Basi has already passed, so Choma can't stop Basi. So one way to know what came before the other one is if you think one of them is deflecting from the other one, basically. Right? If it's deflecting, that means that structure was there before. If Choma was here originally, this guy will probably make a sharp turn.
Yeah.
But you can see that it looks like it's maintaining its course for the most case. And like, okay, looks undisturbed. Just keep going. Just keep going. Right? That means, okay, this structure was much later. Before this guy has already passed through before the structure formed. Right?
Yeah.
And then by the time this guy gets here, this guy's already in place. And then what you see is trying to going to make another turn. Make another turn. And maybe find its way. Maybe there's a mini base here that traps things, no going
Yeah.
backward again. You must stay here. So this is passive. So if I'm drilling, if I'm looking for where to put, what to explore,
Oh, well,
first thing is timing. What structures, first of all, what structures?
first of all.
What structures? What's the structure? What's the stratigraphy? And then what's sequence? Timing or sequence? So I already know from if I'm able to establish, okay, sometime in the early Miocene this happened, I'll put a date to do it.
Yes.
Early Miocene there was some compressional force that did this, that did that in this area of the base. That means I expect to see this, I'll sketch it. Oh yeah, along the line that got amplified because there was some other force in this direction. I create this guy. Oh yeah, then eventually, sometime during the Eocene, this followed. There was a deep marine canyon that formed sediments, that were formerly on the shelf, found their way through, and we had a lot of deep water sediments that came in. We have evidence from the biostrat data that tells me the age of that stratigraphic unit, tells me when that happened and all those. And I'll go ahead and add this. I'm creating a story, I'm building a story, a picture of of it, and also a sequence of it, right? And then later on, there was some, local compression, maybe some form of crystal structure. Maybe this is the area where you have some normal faults, and then that happened later on, reactivated faults, and then you have some collapsed crystals to form later on when this has already happened. I put some trauma there. And then so what now means that this guy continues, and it's going to be deflected, and he's going to find his way and create that deposit somewhere in the mini basin here. So I'm going to say, hey guys, go here.